All right, everybody, we are here with a big best of 3 series straight from the IEM ZvT groups. In the top right, it's Scarlett. And she's opening up with some cheeky bugger strats. She's sending a drone straight across the map against CLEM. So Team Liquid being represented by CLEM in the bottom left side, one of the most storied teams in all of StarCraft and esports history. Scarlett, of course, representing the Shopify Rebellion, a relative newcomer to the esports scene, yet a team that's making waves with their super good taking care of their players and kicking butts. And this is a 17 hatch proxy hatch, and she's going to build it up here real close. She wants to get it real close. Oh, this is absolutely got to be a Ravager proxy, right? So we're going to go pool and then double gas, I think. Do we even go double gas? I don't even know, man. So what's fascinating is so Bly is an expert at this build. Bly is a good friend of Scarlett's. And they used to be teammates for a long time. A long time. So the thing is, you're meant to do this on 16 or 15, aren't you, if you proxy hatch? I feel like it was like a 15 or 16 hatch even before Overlord, maybe? I don't know. I remember that definitely hatch first on the proxy is very important because it takes a long time to build. The problem here is that pool is so much... it needs to be down quick enough to get a Roach Warren. I really wonder what she's going to do with this. So Clem's going to come out with his SCV. Doesn't have any info on what's going on. Starts his command center on the low ground. I think when he sees no expansion, he's immediately going to cancel his command center. Actually, he won't, will he? Clem will probably play greedy. Now, he's obviously going to try and get a factory out, bunker on the high ground, and defend the ramp. Scarlett does drop a second gas now. She's going to be going hard with this Ravager cheese. Oh, this is a real nasty build order. Roach Warren goes down immediately. Now, she's not even trying to hide it. Like the Roach Warren in the back. You see the second gas, you know exactly what you're up against. It's going to be a very quick Ravager pressure coming out. Now, what's kind of powerful about this is if... Oh, actually, I was going to say if the hatchery is there, then she can just contain him on one base, drone this base up a little bit, and then actually make a macro, what looks like a macro game, but then you follow up with a big Ravager Ling attack. Now, she cancels those 2 Zerglings that we're building, says, fuck it, you know, the Reaper will get free kills on that, no reason. Let's wait for the Queen to pop out. She's building extra Overlords and drones back at home, and she will be building Roaches here. The moment that Roach Warren finishes in just 2 seconds, we're going to see 3 eggs pop up, and there we go, 3 Roaches on the way. The Queen does push that back. Does she inject? No, she's going to spread creep. You can see she's saving her energy here. She wants to spread creep, and there we go. She's trying to bait him in. She's pretending she's putting the tumor down. Each time he comes in to try and cancel it, she tries to get a hit on it. But look at that, Marines are there. He's got a factory tech lab, double bunker, and he did cancel his command center and rebuild on the high ground. So Clem really treating this with the utmost respect, and I don't know if Scarlett's cheese is going to work out because he is just showing so much respect. No reactor. He's just going to keep building Marines. He's already got 4 Marines and a Reaper, building a Cyclone, building a barracks. I think she's going to have to expand. I don't think she's going to be able to break him here. This is such respect for Clem, and I do think maybe she could hit this slightly earlier, closer to 3 minutes, if she'd gone for the slightly faster hatchery on like 14. I think 14 proxy hatch is actually the way to do it. 14 hatch, 14 pool, and then 2 gases coming down. But as it is, the biles. Once you get 7 biles, 7 times 6 is 420. 420 is an awesome number because marijuana is cool, kids. No, seriously though, it is enough to one-shot a bunker or a depot so it can bust open a wall, and that's why 7 Ravagers is, of course, the right number. It does take out a supply depot there. How many more Roaches are there, though? She's only got 4 right now. She is gonna... Oh, she's gonna transition. I thought she was gonna all in for sure, but she's got 2 Queens. They're gonna save up transfuse energy, which is gonna try and allow her to keep this contain going. The Biles taking out both depots and now setting that bunker deep on fire. But Clem, he's been very good about rebuilding depots in the back of his base. Now that he's got a tank out, he's gonna siege that. She can't see it, of course. Her Overlord can't go too close because the Cyclone will lock on. And look at that, the Cyclone baits the Ravagers into that. She does drop a transfuse though, and she's got a lot of creep here. And notice she's got 1 tumor spreading backwards. If she could get a tumor there and a tumor there, that would be awesome, because then she could connect it backwards to her side of the map where she does have 1 creep tumor spreading out. Now, Clem has seen the expansion there. He will see the fact that she's macroing on up in the near future, and she absolutely could make a nice game out of this. Clem is up to 3 barracks, but no add-ons on them just yet. Really feels like he's just trying to get enough units to push out. I think he should sell this bunker so we can put that tank further forward. Moving the tank to the low ground would be dangerous. And nice dodge on the bile. Her Queens and Ravagers are going to try and fight this. Those Queens are incredibly tanky, and she knows there's a tank up there on the high ground, so she doesn't want to go in too deep. She's building a Spore Crawler because she's actually expecting a Banshee to come out And she says, hey, if I have a spore here, you can't actually do anything with a Cloaked Banshee. That creep tumor does go down, but she's already still got one tumor denying this. Look at this. He's going to take out those two. If he can kill this tumor as well. Clem! Clem! It's a tumor right there. Oh, that means it's still going to be blocked, Clem. The trademark mistake. It's where you think you've done it and it's just in the bottom right of your screen. Clem, he thinks now the creep is going to dissipate and it will up here, but it's not going to down here. Clem, a massive mistake for him. And SCARLETT coming out with the cheesy play, getting some momentum here. We've got 2 bases full of workers. The SCV seeing that, and that's going to make you panic because as Clem, you're still mining on 1 base. You've got heaps of extra SCVs. If you can start mining from this, you should feel okay, but that's a big if because you're just not out there just yet. And I mean, look, he's got a scan, but it's on this orbital. He can't land this orbital, and he's realizing at this point, oh, fudge. And he has nowhere to land this command center unless he floats it all the way back into the main. So he's waiting for 5 more energy, then he'll scan, then he'll kill the tumor, and finally he'll be able to get it down. But dude, what a delay and what a frustration. I have been here many times as Clem, and I'm telling you, he's going to be a little bit pissed off. He's going to try and push forward here. Does push the Spore Crawler back, but losing Marines for just damage on these Zerg units that will regen. She's going double Evo right now. Ling speed and Roach speed, both. Now that's interesting. Is she going to go melee carapace into Zerglings? If so, I'd like to see SCARLETT droning her 3rd base up a bit more. She's maybe preparing for... No, she's going 1-1. So I'm surprised. Why is she building Ling speed? I guess she just wants a few Zerglings to absorb tank shots. Stim, shields, engineering bay upgrades are miles away for Clem, who's using scans to push back the creep, but not as much as he should be. And the thing is, she could even double back. Like, she could send one of these tumors back forwards to respread. That way, she's gonna just drain so many of his scans to get rid of all this creep on every side. And behind it, 5 more drones on the way, as well as a... Wait, why is she going for a Baneling Nest? Okay, so I think at this point, I got to disagree with SCARLETT's direction. If you're making Roach speed in 1-1, you're going Mass Roach. If you're making Ling speed in Banelings, you're playing Ling Bane. Right now, she is trapped between 2 different styles, and I mean, that can work out. It can play okay. It's just not as efficient as it could be. If you're going for the Lings, I'd like to see a 4th hatchery up already. I'd like to see a lot of focus on macro hatches and injects. Whereas if you're playing Roach Ravager, I really want to see you rushing these gases on this 3rd as well to keep up Ravager production. So SCARLETT right now, I think she's in the lead. I think she's got a great position. I do think it's a bit of an awkward composition she's making, and I do worry about the fact that she may be overextending. So, of course, like I said, using a Bly-style opening at the start, but more for the transition. I think she was hoping for the over-response from Clem. Definitely feels like she may have got it. As Clem here doing this push, he's got Stim, he doesn't have shields. These Marines are very fragile. If she can buy another 30 seconds for 1-1 to kick in, this is an easy hold. And even as it is, she's got so much vision with the creep. Clem wisely picks up and leaves. He's like, there's no way, dude. I forced her to make a lot of Roach Ravager. I'm going to have to count that as good enough, pull back, add my 4th and 5th barracks, get that 3rd CC going. He's only just now started his first +1 attack upgrade. Oh, Clem has such a slow road to coming back in this map. This is such an awful position for him to be in. Now, guys, I got to do a little shout out to SCARLETT, something we didn't actually focus on. She built Overlords out of her proxy hatchery. Because of the lava there, it's really shit to build drones because they have to run all the way home before they can mine. And she didn't want to commit to more fighting units. So what do you use that lava for? She built Overlords, but rather than leaving them exposed on the map or running them back through the open, she sent them to hide in the corner. So this is a really advanced thing. It tells you that SCARLETT is really experienced with her proxy hatchery build orders, and she knows how to make use of every little detail to get value from it. +1 melee, +2 carapace, 4th hatchery on the left side, about to finish. 5th hatchery's coming up as well. So you can see she's making a full swap into Ling Bane off of this pack of Roach Ravager. So she was always planning to just get enough Roach Ravager to stall out his counterattack, to defeat that push, and then to play Ling Bane. Now, will she play Ultras? I'd love to see Ultras. I think Ultras is one of the best styles in the book. She tries to intercept the medevac with the Biles, but Clem is watching, and he does turn around. Still only 1 engineering bay for Clem. 4th and 5th barracks are getting reactors. So he's finally hitting his full 2-base production, and you can see how much he realizes how bad this spot is and that he's building bunkers. He's building depots that are just to make it harder for Ravagers to get up here where they can hit the tank. And he's just going to branch out with like 8 Marines on the left, 8 Marines on the right. He wants everything else at home because Clem is basically hoping that SCARLETT's going to play over eagerly. But Vipers, Ultras, we can see that she's feeling real confident. I don't think he knows about the hive. He has no idea about this hive. So he doesn't really realize. He knows that she's got control over her side of the map and it's looking pretty good for her economically. We can see that there's 20 extra workers, 2 extra bases. up to Hive Tech. And that's pretty darn awesome. Clem is going to start to multi-drop. She didn't build the spores up here, which is definitely a bit of an issue. And she's trying to hunt down that drop. Oh, Scarlett. Wake up, Scarlett. Whoa. Oh, an uncharacteristic mistake. She has complete map dominance and she chucks a bit of a pig here, which is when, you know, you've got no excuse to making a mistake, and that's when you lose 11 drones for no reason. She can replace them very cheaply, instantly rebuilds, right? So all it is you lost 1,000 minerals there. 1,000? Learn to maths. 550 minerals. It's not the end of the world when you're this far ahead. The thing is, it does slow down her next step just a little bit, right? Where are the ultras? She's got chitinous plating. 4 ultras finally start up. I want to see her overwhelm and kill Clem in the very near future. And she could wait for him to move out to a 4th base because he'll be more spread out. He's now adding a Ghost Academy. He's trying to get a few more barracks. Notice he even lifted a barracks off a reactor to build a tech lab. Because he's already thinking about, crap, I really need to get better tech up, man. I need Marauders. I'm going to need Ghosts. I need to start building those units sooner rather than later. But I can't afford 8 barracks, so I'll just get 3 tech labs. This one was already on a tech lab. He doesn't have concussive, but he does have the other upgrades. This one lifted off, and this one will also build a tech lab. So he's going to be able to get some anti-ultra units out. He's building Vikings to deal with both the Vipers as well as any potential Broodlords. Ooh, okay, he's going to focus down some of these Ravagers using that high damage output. Gets 2 of them. And she's hanging over here maybe a bit longer than she should. He's going to try and stim chase her down, but the Banelings are here, as are the Ultras. Chitinous plating is not quite done, but I don't think it matters. Her army is incredibly scary right now. He's going to try to unsiege and get out of there. Medivacs are going to need to save those tanks. Stim and run, stim and run. Medivacs, get him out of there. Get him out of there. Clem! Clem! Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, my God. Okay, he does save some of the tanks, but look, Blinding Clouds are leading the charge here. A Blinding Cloud on top of that bio would be devastating. Just a big Blinding Cloud in here. And there it is. Look at that Blinding Cloud. Oh, my God, devastating attack here from Scarlett. Yes, he does micro like a beast into that choke point, but she's biled down a bunch of tanks. She takes out a lot of these units. It's a good trade, and look at that, the Ultra gets in there. Now she's gonna have to pull back with the Roach Ravager. She should want to keep these units alive. She's overstaying right now, just wanting to trade out everything she can. I do think keeping those Ravagers alive would have been better if she kept them up for the next wave. She's trying to just rally in for the win. I mean, it might just work because he's only got +1 and she's got 1/1/2. I mean, okay, fair enough. I was like, there's no way this is a good trade. Oh, upgrades. Sorry, guys. Procaster here forgot about the upgrades being absolutely terrible for Clem and fantastic for Scarlett. Scarlett just getting him with a proxy hatch. Gets a contain off. It was a very scary build. If he didn't react as hard as he did at the start, she could have killed him with this build. But he reacted super duper hard, and as a result, does end up behind in the mid game. Tanks will defend the Baneling run bias. Good turnaround by Scarl. Notice at first she shift clicked it to click out and then click back in. But because she's realizing, I don't really have another prong of attack to go in with just yet, she does decide to take her time, securing the rich gas on the right side. And yeah, she's looking great. Double Spire on the way. +3 Carapace will finish. And Clem's dead in the water. Just was a little bit behind from early. 4 Ghosts and 5 Marines run forward. The bravery that only a Terran player can know, guys. Stepping forward on the map when you know you're already in Dicktown. But Clem, he always fights to the last moment. Looks for the snipes on the Ultra. Bang, bang, bang. Only damages it. Doesn't kill it. Lingbane Ultra's back on the left side. The tank's on the high ground. Oh. And one of these, Sergeant Chadhammer on the high ground with 26 kills, does a lot of damage, but Scarlett's already in on the right side again, and she gets the upset game 1 victory. Only 1 more to win this series versus Clem. All right, guys, we are into game number 2. We've got Clem in the top right, a Hardwire. And that was a really frustrating game where he just did not get to do his thing at all. Now, does she go to a more standard play after the cheeky game 1? Looks like it. Hatchery first, at least to start. This is Scarlett for Shopify Rebellion. I love her just coming out with a cheeky, cheesy play. I remember a time when she would do very few cheeses. I feel like it was when she took her break to chill out playing a bunch of Dota. She was just having fun playing Dota. I don't know if she was trying to go pro in it, but she was just kind of like easing off the StarCraft around, I don't know, was it 2014 or something like that? Something like that. And, oh, damn. Thank you so much, Maxan. I'm going to give you guys big shout outs, those watching live in the stream. All my voice modulators are going to come out in just a moment, guys. All of my voice modulators will come out. Thank you very much for that generosity. So, Scarlett, right? So, yeah, she definitely started experimenting at that point. She came back, She became teammates with Bly, I remember, and it felt like you could see Scarlett's Bly's influence in her play, where she just started cheesing so much more. She's always, of course, had issues beating Neeb. It's been very difficult for Scarlett to consistently take down Neeb. He's always been, like, honestly, if it wasn't for him, she would have won so much more prize money, right? Just because she's often number 2 in North America, and it's because of Neeb. It's him just being this absolute rock hard obstacle in the face of every single player in North America, where there's been so many players who are like, oh, they're about to break out. Round of 8, bam, get bopped by Neeb. Round of 4, bam, bopped by Neeb. Semifinals, bam. Finals, bam, bopped by Neeb. And that's just the way it's always been. But I remember she started having a lot of very close series with Neeb. Unfortunately, still losing most of them. But like, there was so many 3-2s, 4-3s, where she was proxy hatch spine rushing. She was doing Ling floods, early pulls, all sorts of things. And it's cool to see that she's even mixing them in here versus Clem. Clem is favored versus just about everyone in a straight up standard Zerg versus Terran. So now that she's gone back towards her more standard play, I'm still looking to see if she can cut some corners and do things a bit special. Now notice she does lose 1 Zergling, but she only built 4. So I still prefer this to the kind of modern Korean method of always building 6lings. Look at this micro by Clem. He's so annoying. He gets another Zergling because the Zerglings have to come forward to defend the tumor. Gets 2 Zerglings because of that. Very well played there by Clem. She tries to sneak a Ling out there. That was interesting. It is a 3rd command center build order for Clem, so business as usual as he gets to go straight into the 3rd CC, and he's going to go 2nd barracks, which tells us, guys, 3 CC into 2-1-1. So he wants to go straight to the bio stage of the game. I have a feeling he's going to go straight Widow Mines as well. Actually, I think that would be the best way to play versus Scarlett, who definitely I think will play Ling Bane. But maybe he goes straight tanks. And this has become a thing which I really think is a weak spot for a guy like Clem. Almost all the Terrans are facing so much Hydra play, a good bit of Roach play mixed in, but also Hydra play and just fast Lurker play, to the point where the Terrans aren't playing as much Widow Mines. And they're like, oh no, I've got to go tanks. I've got to keep building tanks, because if I'm on Widow Mines and then they get Lurkers out, I'm dead. If I don't have tanks, I'm only on Widow Mines, they hit me with a big Roach timing, I'm dead. And so I think they're missing an opportunity though, and the Zergs are able to just play Massling Bane and get away with stuff they shouldn't, because there's just no Widow Mines out. Now her Zerglings came in. I think she saw the 2nd barracks floating over. She definitely knows about the 3rd command center. Oh, 2 Hellion dive. She does not have Ling speed just yet. Roasts all of those Zerglings. The Queens are coming down from the natural. She's trying to run these drones away. She's already lost 1 drone. Will she lose another? The Hellions are going to get surrounded. Not too bad. Only loses 1 worker. So good D by Scarlett. And did she see all that stuff, I guess, is my big question, right? So she didn't actually see the 3rd CC. I think she can probably just figure that out, though, from the timing of the Hellions. I don't think that she should be too worried about this being a 2-base play. Oh, actually, no, Scarlett came in just the other day and told us you can tell by the depot timing on the natural. And there was no depot started here till about 4 minutes. So when her Zergling was there at about 3:30, no depots had started. That would have told her, yeah, this is 3cc. And she's going to play the Miko build. Okay, cool. So it's going to be Lair, 2nd gas, drone. Now, if it was the full Miko build, she'd be trying to get a 4th base next, like really quick, even before Evo Chambers. The laser build. Not sure if this is going to be that. She's building a lot more workers. Hellions do slow down the creep a fair little bit. I do feel her overlords are very conservative. So I think her overlords could have pushed further forward so she could keep track of these Hellions a little bit more. That way they wouldn't be getting as many creep tumor snipes, especially since it's only 2 Hellions. They really have no business doing any pressure at this stage of the game. Double engineering bay does go down in the back of the natural here for Clem. He's got lots of Marines on the way. Medevacs are building. And yeah, he's going to go for tanks at least to start. But I have a feeling that's going to be building tanks the entire game from this point onwards. And like I said, that's something which I don't mind being mixed in, but I think Terran players have been a bit too predictable with this tournament so far. And I'd like to see a little bit more of those Widowmine rallies coming in, because against a players going Bane speed like Scarlett, that's going to be more powerful. Now she gets her 3rd at about 5:30, so still pretty good, her 4th, sorry. Still pretty good timing on her 4th base. Double Evo Chamber is now on the way, so she'll start her upgrade soon after 6 minutes. She'll be behind maybe 30 or so seconds on those. Does she have enough to deal with this? 8 Queens, 12 Zerglings, 30 more Zerglings being built right now. She's going up to like 40 Lings, and she's going straight for Hydra, so she does want to play Hydra Bane. I do like this style. Oh, Transfuse is coming down a little late. She does take out just 1 Marine and tickles the medevac. Oh, Spore Crawl is already well placed. She does need a creep tumor up here so she can put these spores even further up. Of course, she has gone for the right side fourth base, which I much prefer, expanding to here and here. Problem with this front fourth is it is a little exposed to the tank pushes, but we'll see how much Clem wants to commit to that. Fourth and fifth barracks is on the way. Unlike those 48 SCV all-ins that we saw a little bit of in the earlier stages of the open bracket, or the play-in stage as we call it, he is continuing to build SCVs, so we expect a second factory and a fourth command center in the near future. He's definitely slowing her creep down a lot. Where is her Ling flank? Oh, she's starting to lose queens. One queen does go down. She does force a pickup. Ooh, she gets a lot of damage done. And she's doing a mass speed bane run by on the right side. If he goes back and spots that with these drops, he could just drop his marines right on top. Oh, this is a very good scout for Clem. Oh, he doesn't see it though. He stops and unloads right there. Finally hunts down her pervert on the front of the map. Her fourth base fully saturated, 83 drones. Fifth base going down on the left side. 1-1 upgrades. Hydra upgrades have been queued up. She's queued up both of them at once. A very good idea. She hasn't started Hydras yet. You might wonder why not. And the reason is Hydras are literal deadweight piece of shit until they get those Hydra upgrades. A bit of miss micro from SCARLETT. Does lose a few Zerglings for not much reason. And he's got the drop on the right, drop on the left. If she can distract him enough on these fights, she might be able to get those Banelings in without him reacting in time. It's kind of hard though, because he has the full wall. She's going to give away her run by with these Banelings by clicking on the depot. So definitely feels like she's trying to wait for him to be really occupied with a big frontal push. You don't want to just throw away 10, 12 Banelings for nothing. You want to ensure you're going to get a fair bit of damage with that. Fourth command center is almost finished for Clem. His second factory is coming up. Do we get a reactor? Clem's playing so turtly. Now this is a new form of Clem, guys, where he's trying to play it more like Maru. And I don't think a world championship is the time to experiment. Oh, he saw the Banelings, but I don't think he noticed them there. This is my big criticism of Clem right now, guys, is I don't know if this is the time to experiment. Clem is at his best when he's in your face with every single unit he's got. That is the Clem that demands respect and fear. But right now, he's only chipping away, doing small skirmishes, which I still think he's doing great in. I mean, look at the units lost tab. That is devastatingly good for Clem. And this is a very common trend. But okay, here we go. Finally, we've got a push coming across the map. I really feel he could have gone for this a bit earlier. She's still got those Banelings there. She's got a changeling. She's like, please lower your depots. Please lower your depots. She's been very, very patient. Zergling will see the fourth base coming down. She's got 82 workers, but she doesn't. Oh, she kind of stumbles into his army a little bit there. I'd like to see her split half her army there, half up here. Would be a good way to do it. She's realizing, okay, it's time to go. She does only get 2 depots there. Goes after the SCVs, not going to get many of them. And oh, that was very inefficient. Those Banelings are only killing 5 SCVs and damaging a few depots in a refinery. Not what she wanted. The Queens and Hydras on the high ground, not doing much here. She's ready though. Here we go. Big flank coming in from all sides. She's going to go for it. Those tanks are going to fall very quickly. Nice angling from SCARLETT. She's very low on Banelings though. And a lot of his Marines should be able to escape if he turns around. Oh no, the Hydras! The Hydras are standing and fighting! Oh no. Oh, okay. Oh, she does barely hang on and wins that fight. Okay, if she lost those Hydras, that would have been terrible for her, but Clem just slightly misjudged, and it does end up being a good fight for SCARLETT. Even though the unit's lost tab still looks bad for her, remember that she's the Zerg. She's on 4-5 bases. He's only on 3. He's playing a style where he should be actually trading a lot better than her, and her managing to clean up that push, get rid of all the tanks is very nice. SCARLETT's adding more spores. She should shuffle these ones up as well. Medevacs do have a nice little corner they can unload in the middle of the map. Looks like she's going to send Sumlings up here. That's not enough. She does have some Hydras coming as well, though. And Clem is going to try and fall back. Fourth base is going out. He's still got tanks building. And he does have double factory tank, in fact. So it's mass siege tank here. She's already got a Viper on the way. If she can get a second... Okay, against this style, a third Viper is actually the thing. So I've pointed out that so many people have been playing this non-stop tank style that there is actually a new meta where if you develop a realization that your opponent's doing this as the Zerg player, just build 3 Vipers. Don't go for the 1 or 2. The budget Vipers, better versus a low tank count. Versus someone who's really relying on those tanks, you want to go 3. Ling Bane Hydra coming in from all sides. Oh, she does get that front tank and then pulls back. I think that's a really good pullback for SCARLETT. You don't want to chase too far. You don't know how deep that tank line is. We can see those tanks do go quite far back, and this bio can dance all day. So you've got to be careful chasing it. This tumor on the right does still survive if she keeps spreading the creep, and she does. Very good overall strategic awareness to not tunnel vision on this fight. So she's working the fact that he's so focused on the left side just by spreading that creep on the right. I like to see that. How many Hydras? We got 13 Hydras. She is building a second Viper, which is very important for SCARLETT. And Nidus Worm goes down for her as well. So she's preparing for the Lurker. Nidus backstabs. Clem has got a 5th command center on the way. His Ghost Academy finally starting up, but I can't help the feeling that, she's just ahead of him. Oh my god, you're kidding me. He's going to get a hatchery kill. Abducts. Oh, Abducts would have been really nice. He's lifted up all his Marines, so she can just jump on top and kill those siege tanks. Oh, Scarlet. Oh, she stopped to kill the rocks. Scarlet. Oh, she's so eager to break these rocks down. Oh, she's going to abduct 2 siege tanks that she catches out in the middle of nowhere. On the right side, she cleans up a double drop. Okay, so even though I don't like her missing that tank, there is so much else that she was managing to get on top of. She does surround those units. That tank falls. She's pushed him back. She needs to respread her creep. She did lose her 5th base. She's rebuilding it as well as a 6th. She's got +3 carapace, +1 range on the way. She did skip the +3 melee, but that's okay. The range upgrade's probably more important now that she's doing that Lurker transition, and we want to see this one. Pervert, Captain Pervert on the right side. He's going to try and pop up a Nidus in the main. Now, the trick here is do not show this move until you're attacking elsewhere. If she doesn't feint elsewhere, he's going to notice it. He's going to shut it down. She's got to feint elsewhere. Here we go. This is a decent opportunity. Big skirmish in the middle might be enough of a distraction. He's already building turrets, but she can see beyond that with that eyeball sticking out the top of the Overseer. It's gone into Pervert mode. I don't know what it's actually called. Oversight? Yeah, that's a fancy name for being a fucking weirdo creepily looking through your neighbor's window, mate. No, it's Oversight. It's a technically evolved ability. Yeah, you have a 3rd eyeball made for perving. But Clem did notice this. Already rallied his units and will take down that Overseer. Very nicely done. In the middle of the map, though, she's still got a big army out there. She's looking to push forward. Parasitic Bombs might be the way to go. Great Blinding Cloud on the tanks in the rear. But it looks like her army was not big enough, and this was a big misjudgment from Scarlet. Massling Bane does roll in on the right. Ooh, if she detonated, she could have blown the orbital up. Might have been worth it there, as she is absolutely rich in minerals and gas right now. 44 Zerglings, 5 Hydras, +3 carapace is on the way. He's got 5 bases up, though. A 5-base Terran is a fearsome Terran. The units lost have 50% resources ahead for Clem, which is about to be expected in these scenarios, but Scarlet's still got the momentum in terms of the amount of money. But 9 ghosts. He's getting towards that 10 to 15 ghosts that makes the Terran much scarier. He's got to start spreading his tanks across all these bases. I'd like to see Clem move these tanks and just have them spread everywhere. I think these ones are a bit clumped up. Perfect Blinding Cloud target right there. And another Nidus Worm goes down. It's going to be the double Nidus. Where one fails, go for 2 at a time. Make it even harder for him to deal with. You can also pop a Nidus up here and potentially Lurker that base. Of course, we can see there's double siege tank there, though. Snipe's going to come down, does damage a Lurker. Of course, a Lurker ends up on just 30 hit points after that 170 damage snipe. And we'll see what goes on. Oh, another snipe does go down, takes out a Hydralisk there. You can see its little tail wiggling. Did we just lose a Viper? Oh, I think he just got a Viper as well. Oh, that's bad for Scarlet. Those Vipers are so valuable. Parasitic Bombs on the Medivacs will be huge. Abducts on the tanks, Blinding Clouds, all of that can be great. And now Clem's getting a chance to go to late game. I think Scarlet slowed down a bit. I think she had a chance to overwhelm Clem in this game. I think if she kept attacking from multiple angles, maybe even with just pure Hydraling Bane, I think she could have swarmed him and thought of the Nidus and the Lurkers more as just like an extra layer of threat. But I think now she's let him catch up. And while she still has a bit more bank momentum, if all those orbitals are allowed to finish, he's just going to slowly control the middle of the map. He's going to move planetaries forward to cement the position. He's going to look to deny these 2 middle bases and just, he's going to have unlimited mules. And that means he can start lowering his SCV count to make a hyper max. He can make a much bigger maxed out army as he gets more mules dropping. And look at that, that's already planning to be a planetary fortress. Oh, she's running in on the left side. Ghost in the open, Ghost in the open. Okay, he does pick him up and drop there. You know, the recall of Terran, the medevac, just pick up, drop. If you don't have mutas or something to get on top of that, you don't have a fungal or a lot of hydras to trap those medevacs, it can be very powerful. Planetary does get spotted here. It's morphing right in front of that army, but the bio, the tank, will cover it and allow it to get up. We've got snipes coming down. The Lurkers do get a catch on the ghosts. 1 ghost does go down, but of course those snipes in response, and it's whenever you turn tail and run, that's where the ghosts punish you. A few Marines on the right side do get cleaned up. We can see all of the utility upgrades getting added in. Building armor for the Terran will add +2 armor to every single building. That brings a planetary up to 5 armor, I believe it is, which is just insane. Zerglings do next to nothing to planetaries from that point onwards. You can see here 3 armor base on a planetary, 1 on just about every other structure. Turrets only have 0 armor. Oh, I didn't know that. Turrets have 0 armor. Everything else has 1, I believe. Yeah, not sure about bunkers. Bunkers, of course, have 2 extra space with this upgrade as well. Not that anyone cares about bunkers at this stage of the game. And this lurker, oh, she actually put it on hold fire. So she's pretended this lurker isn't there. She's waiting for the SCVs to stack up. And then she's going to turn hold fire off to blast the SCVs. Oh, Scarlett. Oh, that's very, very cute. Unfortunately, what we know, and she doesn't, is that there is a lot of bio just out of vision. So once again, I'd like to see her do that when there's a fight happening elsewhere to distract Clem, so he hopefully doesn't notice it. You can see here threatening up the middle. That lurker's still just chilling. There we go. So she turns it back on, of course. He's got a tank in range, and he just one-shots it, so it doesn't really end up achieving much. She's going to dive forward. Lings on mass. Lurkers, Hydras, Banes charging on forwards, but a great pullback by Clem. The tank holding the choke on that right side. On the left side, she can't quite get the Banelings in the center. She gets some lurkers forward. She does bust this planetary. It feels like this is a very expensive fight, though, for Scarlett. And is this enough? She gets 17 SCVs. Her lurkers on the left side are getting taken out 1 or 2 at a time. And the whole army of Scarlett will end up dying. We've got to check in on the units lost tab. She does actually get some really big benefits. Even though the army versus army seemed kind of shit, she kills turrets, sensor towers, a command center, 18 SCVs, and overall, I look at that units lost tab and I go, that's actually a big success. Absolutely, that's really good for her. Now, if she could run up with a follow-up attack, kill this base and deny this top left, and then maybe swap her focus to running through the middle, down the right towards the production, that would be great. But of course, look at these tanks. 5 tanks here, all with just overlapping ranges. You can see all the range of those tanks. You got more tanks on the left side as well. So this is very hard for her to find a soft spot, and that's why I do think going down this left avenue probably her best next choice. She still hasn't fully saturated this base. That is a big mistake, guys. And she should be taking this base as well. Mining out those middle bases is the biggest thing on Hardwire, similar to Oxide back in the day. It's all about mining out those exposed bases. Oh, shit! Double Nidus Worm! Massling Bane runs in on the front, the double Nidus Worm on the back, and this could be devastating. SCVs are exposed. The Ling Bane taking some awkward trades as the tanks do start to gun down the Banelings. She goes for the mineral line there, and she actually gets some pretty banging hits. 27 SCVs. Lurkers have popped out in the main base. Over here, her Hydras will take out that orbital command center. She's clearing up the sensor towers. Oh, this is a value attack from Scarlett. Just a bunch of lurkers in the back door. Now, that does get cost inefficient as you do get sniped down. She tries to leave maybe a second or 2 later than she should have, but look at this. Follow-up attack. Even just a small squad of units should be enough to take this base out. She can take out the siege tank, the lurker, plus the Banelings. Say goodbye, SCVs, and Clem. His economy is so damaged right now. The SCVs, she doesn't get them. I think that was a missed opportunity, letting those SCVs escape, because she's actually cracking his orbitals right now. I think Clem might be dead, guys. She's still got an 85 drone economy that's been pretty much unmolested this entire time. 14, 13, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Repair, 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 repair. It burns! Clem once again distracted by a Nidus in the main base. An orbital command center burns down. Those Zerglings do get cleaned up. Oh, the lurker does take out a ghost there. Not bad. Getting some big hits. That barracks is about to burn down as well. Low priority here. Scarlett's looking to catch him during this moment where she has the momentum. She gets 2 tanks, but at this point she may be overextending. She has to pull back and lick her wounds. She also needs to fix her saturation. I think her drones aren't mining correctly. Yeah, there we go. She's transferring drones from these bases now. She's still got 3 idle drones in the main. You can tell she hasn't used that idle worker button. She's back up at 90 workers. She's got an insane amount of gas, but she actually needs to focus on the minerals more than anything right now. Scarlett needs to saturate the gas there. Try to get this hatchery up as well, because remember, guys, it's still about eking out your advantages slowly, little by little over time. And what does that mean? It means every mineral you mine is a mineral he can't mine. So every mineral you mine, that's 5 minerals, each little load from a drone, but that's doing 5 minerals of damage as well. So it's like every base mine's, what, 400 minerals a minute, something like that. I don't know the exact numbers. Let's say 400 minerals a minute. That's like it's killing 8 Marines a minute, if you think about this in a late game, drawn out efficiency situation. So I'd love to see Scarlett take this base, and at the very least use it as a way to lure him out into the open where he is going to try and fight her. Now, Scarlett at this point, obviously, she's spent a while rebuilding her economy. She's just rebuilt drones. I'm not sure about that. I think that's a bad choice, because she's already way down in army supply. And you can see, do you really need 100 drones this deep in the game? I think because she suddenly didn't have mineral bank, she got worried, but all she needed to do was swap her gas workers onto minerals. She did not need to actually rebuild workers. She just needed to say, hey, gas is not that important, especially on these back bases, which I can always mine later. Like, these are not important. Just pull those workers onto minerals. So the problem now is that she's maxed out. She doesn't have more supply. He's catching up on supply, and it's all army. He's got 18 siege tanks. He's making mass ghost. He's adding drilling claws. And for Scarlett, I'd love to see these attacks continue in. This side, though, look at that. He's had enough time to rebuild. This is unbreakable unless you got Vipers. And she needs... Well, what beats tanks is mass Lings, right? And Vipers with Blinding Clouds. Ghosts, Ling Bane. I don't think Lurkers are useful right now. She's got 13 Lurkers, and they're actually kind of useless. Like, if you can get them burrowed on the bio, that's nice. I don't think that's really very likely to happen. Oh, I like it. Again, another Holdfire Lurker harass. Very cute from Scarlett. And the Banelings are going to come forward. She does clean up some of these Marines. Oh, her flank of Lurker Bane running. Guys, Banelings are also worthless units at this stage of the game. Yes, there's some Marines, but it's like 20 Marines in the entire army. If you can get a few Banelings on the Ghosts, yeah, it's kind of nice, but you actually want mostly Zerglings because the tanks are just so deadly versus Lurker Bane Hydra right now. He's on mass tank. She actually needs to swap to Broodlords, but she hasn't done that yet. She thought she could win with just Ling Bane Hydra Lurker. This Lurker needs to start firing right now. Anything to pull the pressure away from her. Remember, she didn't saturate the minerals up here for a long time, and now she's not going to be able to. And this is that big thing that we always talk about. When you get into a late game against a Maru type player, and Clem has been playing more and more like Maru lately with this late game turtle stuff, you need to saturate these forward bases as quickly as possible. If they don't give you an avenue to trade with them in an actual fight, well, do damage by mining out their bases. If they're sitting behind walls of planetaries and tanks, you've got to pull back. Now, she loses a lot of workers there, which I don't think I'm too worried about her losing those workers. She's still got probably more workers than she should have, but she's got to make Greater Spire and Pathogen Glands. Infestors, Broodlords will destroy in this situation. Now, the Lingbane trying to bust the planetary. It's a very costly trade, but I mean, opening this path up just to clear out territory, maybe get rid of the sensor tower, definitely could be useful for later on. This one Ghost, that is, that's Sean Bean. Hello? Get out of there, buddy. Sean Bean wants to go down, does eventually decide, no. It's not the end of the movie just yet. We'll wait a little bit longer. Bit of a psycho, though. Oh, I don't know about this attack. She's not really finding a valuable target. Nice Lurker on... she pulls the hold off the fire. She clears this base. She's not really killing valuable army units right now, but she's just clearing up territory, which is still something. That Lurker in the back. Ooh, the Ghost run in, and she actually does a fair bit of damage to them. Medivacs will be able to heal that later on, though, of course. Spire is now finally on the way. We still have not seen Pathogen Glands. Infestors would be huge. If she catches him with a single Burrow Infestor pop-up Fungal, she can just do so much with the Lingbane Hydra. But I think she's been a bit too focused on the Lurkers. Finally, Burrow Pathogen Glands comes in. And I think this was plan C. Scarlett did not want to go to that stage. And I understand why. It slows the game down a lot. And she wanted to just keep smashing with the army that she had. But I think she's taken a bit longer to swap than she should have. And once again, at a moment where it felt like Scarlett had some momentum and some tempo, Clem's being given a chance to remax, to reestablish some defenses. The Mass Ling, though, I love that she's gone Mass Ling versus the tank-heavy army. They just don't do much versus Mass Ling, but she's got to pull back from here. Snipes across the gap. Those Lurkers going down. Overseer's going down as well. Costly trades for Scarlett, who is now down 20,000 in the resources lost. Remember how close this was earlier in this game? It's getting more towards that 2-to-1 ratio that makes Clem very, very happy. She's got the base on the right side pretty much fully saturated. Definitely wouldn't mind that being oversaturated on minerals. You know, mining these bases out, like I said, is so huge. Clem still has a completely fresh base here and a lot of minerals in the top left. Not that many minerals left here. Almost none left there. So this left side base is his last bastion of economy, but from there, he still might be able to creep into those middle bases just because she hasn't mined that much out. And oh my god, that's a lot of tanks. She goes for a big old dive. But look at this. Oh, it's a death choke. That was not a good fight for Scarlett. She shoves the left side with some Blinding Clouds at the same moment. Does get a decent little fight on that side, but overall, yet again, units lost tab not looking great for Scarlett. I do like the idea of the Vipers and the Masslings, but he's just so well spread up to defend these different attacks from her. And I keep looking at this and going, oh man, the surprise of Infestors arriving on the field could just be a game winner. But not quite able to get the Parasitic Bombs on that. She's going to very slowly kill this Liberator with Parasitic Bomb. Another Parasitic Bomb thrown on it would kill it, but she's just gathering more energy. That base on the left side does replant. She's got some Lurkers, Spores and Spines on the right. There's still thousands of minerals to be mined on this base. Very, very valuable location. And Clem, he's just slowing this game down. And look, if he gets this base, I think Scarlett suddenly is like, oh god, I'm losing, because she's got less minerals left in the corner of the map. Yes, she's got this middle base, but if he's able to establish this base, an immense amount of pressure is pushed onto Scarlett, and she suddenly needs to be crazy efficient. She's trying to make +1 air weapons here. She's already got the Great Aspire. A few infestors with burrows spaced around this map. I'm telling you guys, it'd be absolutely game-changing. It's such a hard thing to pull off, and that's why Scarlett hasn't gone for it yet, but she's going to have to make that move, because when someone goes this heavy on tank ghosts, 17 tanks, 18 ghosts, we saw Maru and Raynor at Katowice last year taught us what you have to do against this, and that is you either need to bust them with Broodlords or kill them earlier in the game. Solar, one of the expert players at breaking this sort of style with Broodlords and Infestors, and I think he would have been into that composition a while ago, as would have Serral. Those are two of the guys who are so good at making that swap from Lurkers over in that direction. I guess if we think about it, in that Maru Raynor semifinals last year, basically Raynor just went Mutiling Bane and killed him before he got to this stage, didn't he? I guess we didn't learn, we just learned that Raynor's really good at StarCraft. We didn't really learn the counter. We just learned, kill them while you have an advantage. It was, don't let him get there, is actually how Raynor solved that late game. So maybe not the best example that I gave there, but definitely Serral and Solar, two of the expert guys at doing it. Scarlett's making that transition now. She's got Neural. She's got Corruptors coming in as well. Vikings are coming out for Clem. Does he try to do this with just Mass Ghost? Because I feel like Mass Ghost on its own won't really cut it. I've talked to Serral about this a few times, and he's usually, his answer is you need enough Vikings to one-shot a Broodlord or a Corruptor. And once you get that number of Vikings with the Ghosts and whatnot, maybe some Thors on the ground, it's going to be much better, because every time you poke forward, you can one-shot a unit and then pull back and hopefully dodge the Zerg spells. But if the Zergs land the Parasitic Bomb Fungal on the Vikings, they disappear. If they fungal your Ghosts and the Broodlords are able to rain down death on them, then you get wrecked. So it's going to be a battle of the Ghosts trying to land EMP on the Infestors. The Broodlords are a big problem, of course, but she needs to deny this base. Nukes are on the way now, as well as +3 vehicle plating. Oh, he gets a big round of snipes off and actually kills 1, 2, 3 Broodlords, but he's not cloaking right now with those Ghosts, and he loses a whole bunch of Ghosts to the Broodlords. Now, she does walk into the missile turret. It's a bit of a mistake there. Scarlett taking a lot of damage here. She's shoving hyper aggressively. A few more snipes go down as well, and I think Scarlett, she's just going for the big old shove. She doesn't want to let this game drag out, but she's losing so many expensive units by doing this. And look at that, EMPs splashing across the Infestors, but the Fungal does get through. She gets one Fungal Infestor through, and oh, he picks up into red hit point medevacs and saves about 5 or 6 Ghosts there that I thought were absolutely destined for the graveyard. She keeps them alive though, but her Infestors are very low, and she's got to keep these Infestors up and build even more of them. She has very little mineral income right now. It's mostly just these 2 bases on the right side, and she's going to take this base off Clem. She needs to keep pushing forward, but she doesn't have many Corruptors here. Her Infestor energy is not there anymore. Uh-oh. Oh, guys, she's only got 1 Fungal to protect these Broodlords. Okay, the Lurkers are actually the main line of defense. The Broodlords and the Lurkers together. Finally, the Lings do arrive. Now, at this point, I'd be tempted as her to send the Lings in towards the production. Because he's so focused on the left side, it's dangerous because you leave this army supported with no Zerglings. But as we see, there's only a tank, a Lib, and then 2 tanks on the high ground. I think that would be a good move. Now, that Thor cannot fit out this choke point, it seems, as that Thor is stuck in the base. More Broodlings coming in. And here we go. Ghosts poking forward Corruptors. A single Viper is going to be rebuilt here. Scarlett has an endless gas bank, but her minerals are incredibly low. So every single mineral matters. It's the same for Clem right now. It's the identical army supply. And dude, Scarlett is so close to getting the 2-0 over Clem, which would be such a great kick forward for her in this group stage. This is so awesome that she's made it to this position. And I talked about the Broodlord transition being late, but God, she was decisive once she got there. A little late on the Fungal, though. She loses 2 Broodlords. That Broodlord gets sniped once as well. Okay, so the thing is, you need that Fungal to land just before the snipes go off. But she's always just about half a second too late on it. And I get it. She doesn't want to come in too early because then you get hit by EMP. But she's just slightly off on her timing with it. And that is costing her. That Spore Crawler does go down. She needs to push these tanks back. I think it's time for her to just shove with the Broodlords right now. These Vikings, Clem is sieging this base. I honestly think his army is actually way worse than hers, but he's doing such a good job of picking away at this hatchery, and he's going to get it. She's mining the gases right now, but if she loses the hatchery, well, guess what? The gas doesn't matter. It's all about the minerals. He kills the base. She comes forward for the revenge. One of the broodlords goes down. Where's the fungal? There's the fungal! The infestor's coming in. She's spread them out so well, and she's chaining those fungals like a champ. She wants to go forward and get even more of them, but a whole bunch of the ghosts fell, and I think that might be the game-winning fight, because now she can re-secure this hatchery. Yes, she does get hit by an EMP. There's still some ghosts alive, but she keeps most of her broodlords alive. 8 broodlords. She's still got 6 infestors. Not many fungals across them, but they are starting to tick up on the energy and get into that range of another fungal. And where's his mining? He doesn't have that much left. He does need to transfer SCVs. He's starting to do it now. He's bringing Thors over here as well. They do have 3-3 the Thors, or I should say, there's only 1 Thor, 3 Vikings. The Lurkers. Ooh, some snipes go down on the Overseer. SCARLETT. If she can land a fungal on these ghosts and then chain it, it's going to be so damn powerful. Remember, though, she can't run forward in the pack. So notice she's got to keep sending individual infestors forward. So if she goes forward as a pack, they all get EMP'd. Clem can just overwhelm because she doesn't have an answer to those ghosts. The broodlords and the lurkers are not terrible, but they're not fantastic either. Now, her overseers are falling back. She's got a spore crawler, a few spore crawlers here. So, oh, snipes come forward, does take out a lurker. Clem, dirty boy. I really do feel, though, it's so dangerous, and she could come forward right now. Now, he's got a turret there. Otherwise, she could probably flank with a burrow infestor, pop up there, fungal, and then just kill all his stuff. I still think this avenue over here in the Supreme late game, hitting a Terran's natural, it's always the least defended point in the late game, and at the very least catch the rally points. So bring an Overseer would be great for SCARLETT. It's one of those things that's very hard to remember in the heat of battle. Very easy for me with a bird's eye view. I don't have to manage the mic or anything to go, hey, the natural, when they're so focused on this fight on the left side of the map, that's when the natural opens up, when the production opens up as a viable attack path. Now these spines have kind of been blocking these infestors. She gets a decent fungal. EMP's blanketing, but she dodges most of them. And she fungals the tanks. Oh, those tanks are dead, mate. And look at that. Oh, she's going to just chase it. She's going to just chase it. The tanks, 2 of them do manage to drop, but she lands another big fungal, another big fungal. Is she going to be able to kill them, though? A bunch of those ghosts just barely surviving with the medevac healing coming in. And now he counter swings. Where's the... Oh, she's going to abduct. Okay, good focus fire. Notice her broodlords. She's focus firing the ghosts. She's got to stop attacking the planetary. She's trying to do it as best she can, but the ghosts are landing some snipes, but at the same time, they're dying. There's not much energy. The corruptors are taking out some of the medevacs. This is such a close fight. He's building only Marines right now. The corruptors unzip their fly and they take a whiz, and the command center goes down. Another fungal lands on this bio, and these broodlords, there's not that many of them. There's only 6 broodlords. Oh, he gets a snipe. He gets a snipe. He takes out a broodlord. If he can get one more broodlord, that would be massive here. These ghosts, the healing from the medevacs is so darn powerful. The +3 attack broodlords are doing quite well. They've only got 1/1 upgrades themselves on the broodlords. Oh, she goes a bit too far forward. Oh no, SCARLETT, she can't afford to lose these broodlords. They're so low. She needs every queen she can get up front right now. This is where having a mineral bank would have helped. Imagine if she just had 5 or 6 queens transfusing the broods this whole time, but she's so broke on minerals. Queens are actually not a good investment. Normally it's gas that you're starved on, so queens are almost like a free unit. In this scenario, losing those 2 queens is so devastating. And yes, she's mining this base, but look, Clem is finding a way to pressure it. He's floating a new orbital down here from the back. Her minerals are going to mine out on this right side. She's only got a few thousand more minerals there. And what's she got? Ling Bane. She's building Ling Bane. She's got to intercept this rally, but the planetary is over there making it very hard. She's got 6 infestors, 6 more on the way. She's making 2 broodlords. It's going to be 5 broodlords, 12 infestors. Very light on the broods, very heavy on the infestors. And when you're heavy on gas, that just makes perfect sense. She's got 2 lurkers in here, which will make it even harder for these units to push forward. The Lings do find the rally, and she does actually get in there, but it's not the big 70 Zergling, 60 Zergling run by that I was hoping for. It's just a handful. And so she doesn't really get the value that she needs. The Marines do lift to the high ground. Clem fighting for his dear life. I mean, I'd still give SCARLETT the edge here. Oh, snipe. Maybe? Nope, the lurkers do defend those broodlords. Notice when the broodlords were shooting over here, the ghosts try to come in on the right, and they actually do get rid of those lurkers. Oh, she's got to get rid of that bloody siege tank. She's coming around the left side with those broodlords to try and kill this siege tank. She can get rid of the tank and the Widowmine, and look at this, the infestor, because he doesn't have high ground vision all the way to the left. Oh, but then he scans, does almost take that infestor out. And there we go. Broodlords. She's got to stack those broodlords up and try and start a step him. She's still only got 6 broods, guys. I think she needs to make more. I know that's such a slow thing because the broodlords take so long to build, but I really think it would be huge. And oh my god, even just Neural on the Thor might be cute here. Oh my god, if she could pop up and fungal this though. Now the tanks are siege, that's not going to work. She does get scanned. Nice fungal, but she's a little clumped. Bunch of her infestors do get hit there. The queen does take a few tank shots. These ghosts are being used so well. They're never overextending, and whenever she tries to chase them down, the tanks shoot down the infestors. It's that tank focus fire that Clem has been so good on, making sure those infestors cannot run these ghosts down, that these broodlords can't just jump on top. Her drone count is very, very low right now, 36. She's trying to move spores up here as well. She throws a fungal, doesn't quite land it. She's got to keep this going. He's got to permanently scan this. His medevac goes down. She's trying to run in and run out. He's trying to zone her with the EMP. He lands one, but it only knocks 100 energy off, remember. Full energy infest is able to withstand that sort of thing. Oh, I think she could have thrown that fungal a little bit deeper there. She's got to take the initiative a little bit. The way Clem is pushing in, she's trying to kind of let him overstep. And I think he's doing a great job of not falling into that trap. She's got to keep spreading these infestors so that she can threaten from here, here, and over on the left side as well. She's going to clean these marines out, which is very nice. They will go down steadily to those broodlords. The spines on the right looking very nice. Those lings do go down. She'd like to take out these tanks, but the Thor is such a present danger. Remember, guys, 11 range, 47 damage a shot. Look at how quickly it takes these units down, man. So she shoots, but she shoots and they all hit the Thor, not the tanks. And the ghosts kill the broodlings instantly. That Thor tank wedge is actually creating such a big problem for her. And you can see she's almost at 100,000 resources lost. Great EMP. Doesn't even lose the ghost. That's a lot of her energy gone. She can't let herself get stuck in this corner too bad. She's trying to mine out these last resources. I mean, obviously she can't let him take these resources, but I think maybe she should give up trying to mine them for a moment. Really work on her army quality. She's going to go up to 11 broodlords in a moment. He still is working with what is mostly a ghost force, and a few fungals does make that army rather shit, but he's out. Oh my god, he gets out of range. She's used all of her fungals. Wait, that one popped up from the rear and did land a fungal, but she's out of fungals. And a lot of his ghosts survive. Can he push forward right now? He might be able to. 10 infestors. That one on the right is going to be able to pop up with another one in a moment. Clem does not see her infestor, but if it moves forward even a tiny bit, she'll be in turret range. She's got another infestor there that does not quite have the energy, and she's going to have to shove this. She's only got one overseer here with the broodlords right now. The spines have been doing a lot. She throws a fungal, which actually hits the broodlords, funnily enough, and she does get a big volley off. The tank's doing friendly fire as well. This is really nice the way she's fought this, but she doesn't have a lot of units backing this up. She's bringing forward the next infestor, but it doesn't quite have a fungal. She's sending another flanking infestor from the right. It's a few energy away. Her broodlords just need to fight the Thor. To be fair, she needs to just fight it, especially if she can fungal it. Fungal plus broodlords would be the way to do it, but she needs to actually get the kill. And there we go. She tries to fungal it, but I think the medevac will save it. Ooh, no. Oh, she does. He saves it. Sorry, Clem saves that one just in time. Scarlett's out of mining on the right side. She's out of minerals. She is out of minerals right now. It is all just infested broodlord. And remember, guys, he took much longer to mine out. And as a result, even though he doesn't get these middle bases yet, he's still able to mine more. And that's why we've got another Thor in the way. That's why we've still got 14 ghosts, even though he's lost so many of them. He's lost 66 ghosts. She's lost 32 broodlords. And this is crazy. The way this game is going down to the wire. Every unit matters. That spine crawler fighting for its life, but the EMPs are coming out. The broodlords are going to need to push forward, but the EMPs, he gets 3 of them. He gets 3 of those infestors with the EMP and snipes one of them. The flanking infestor landing a big fungal though, and a whole bunch of these ghosts go down. The overseer's got oversight on fungals continuing to land. He's not able to land any snipes, but another great fungal coming down, as well as a big EMP on the infestors. Oh my god, but she just doesn't have enough meat. Where's the meat and potatoes? She's only got 5 broodlords. A single snipe on any of these red hit point broodlords will take him out. Uh-oh, marine flank comes in as well. She's got to get out of there. Broodlords need to just run to the left. It's all about keeping the broodlords alive. Remember, Clem does not have money either. Clem is so broke right now. He's mining 900 minerals a minute, but he cannot afford to replace most of these. Oh, he drops the Thor, gets a shot, and then picks up without getting any return fire. Hot dropping the Thor because it shoots so quickly now. And look at this, the infestors don't have energy. Scarlett's got to get out of here. She's got to wait for more energy on these infestors. She loses one more broodlord. She's down to 5. No, another broodlord gets popped by a snipe. Scarlett, she's got no support. It's 3 broodlords and a pack of infestors, 2 broodlords. The Thors are coming in. She throws another fungal, but there is still that one big daddy Thor. She needs to flank it and neural it. Neuraling that Thor is the only way she wins this next fight. Oh my god, that ghost is causing her so many problems. Broodlords do not shoot very quickly, and only 2 broodlords is not enough. She's got 450 minerals. She actually mined a fair bit of extra minerals here. She could build some units, but I mean, what do you even build? Is it just Zerglings? Do you just make, I don't know, what, 4 times 4 times 5, you can afford what? Yeah, 20 Zerglings here. I mean, that's not going to really turn the tide in these battles, I don't think. Maybe, though. It's still a small section of units. How many minerals does he have left? Oh, too much. He's got like 600. He's got like almost 2,000 minerals there. Plus, he's going to float down to this base. Scarlett's out of income. She's on her last mineral patch, her last 200 minerals. She's making more infestors, but I don't think 2 Broodlords will have the firepower to do it. If she could drop mass infested Terrans, that would be a different story, maybe. But obviously, that is no longer an ability that the Infestor has. Infested Terrans might have been able to turn the tide, just get some more raw damage out to back up the Chain Fungals. But without that, I don't know what she can do here. She's going to have to pull the drones to fight. She's got a cheeky Infestor. It's going to, of course, be able to land some nice Fungal, something like that. She's throwing Broodlords. Attacks out, but Clem has fought his way back from the brink of defeat in this series. And look at the efficiency. And he cloaks, runs in, and EMPs. There's only one Overseer. And it's all the way over on the right side. She's going to bring that and her spines over here now. She's only got Fungal for detection and a Broodlord gets sniped. Dude, Scarlett here. She lands a Fungal but nothing to follow up on it. And she's got to tap out. What an absolute clawing back from almost getting overwhelmed at like the 15-minute mark by Clem. 48 tanks, 240 Marines, 79 Ghosts. 38 Broodlords, 14 Infestors, 56 Lurkers, 1,124 Zerglings. The units lost tab in the top left, 190,000 units were lost in this game. What an epic battle. Clem ties up the series 1-1. All right, guys, let's go into game number 3 and an epic comeback from the young man that just refuses to die, young Clement. Representing Team Liquid, Shopify Rebellion Scarlett, finding herself here in the group of death. Group D, funnily enough, is the group of death. Scarlett, Clem, Raynor, Maru, Zaun. It's 5 people in a group, right? 6? 6 people. 6 times 4. Scarlett, Raynor, Maru, Clem, Zaun. Beyond also joined the group. That's the 6th person. I'm trying to remember here. I'm like, who else was it? Beyond, who was like the #1 player from the play-in stage, and he got put in the hardest group. It was insanely hard. It was insanely ridiculous that they also got, of course, the teammate clash, Beyond and Scarlett, which very unfortunate for Shopify Rebellion there. At least they did dodge Lambo, who was in Group C, but still a hard turn of events. Spawning pool does go down. Hatch gas pool there for Scarlett on the top left side. Now, Berlingrad's a pretty small map. A lot of players have done 2 base pushes where they try to do tank siege there. So breaking these rocks as the Zerg, I think, is actually rather important, as well as potentially opening both of those minerals up. Clem usually goes across, opens up one of these to get his Reaper across the map faster. You can see he's queued it where he said, click on the minerals and then continue forward. So, doop-de-doop. Mine. Drill. It's only a 5 mineral patch that blocks that, and that is now open. Command Center does go down on the low ground. He sees the hatch first and says, oh, thank God, no more proxy hatchery shenanigans here. He's going to go across the map with the Reaper. This is a smaller map, so if there was ever a map for someone to be okay building 6 Zerglings, the thing I've been so critical of, this would be the map. Now notice that Clem had his barracks rallied straight across the map, which meant his Reaper popped here and then ran to the left, because the pathing of the rally point does not take into account the fact that the Reaper can jump the ledge. So that was a bit of a noob mistake. Normally you'd right-click the rally point here, and then you'd shift-click it across the map. So this Reaper arriving 2 seconds later, due to Clem making a slight little inefficient move there. Uncharacteristic for him. And it is just 4... No, she is building the next 2 Zerglings as well. So Scarlett playing very safe. And as I said, small map. You're up against one of the most annoying high-level micro players out there. Good choice by Scarlett to play very conservative with the 6 Zerglings now. Her 3rd hatchery's already gone down up there. The Zerglings are going to sacrifice 1 or 2 of them in order to get that creep tumor down safely. But that's well worth it to make sure that tumor goes down very quickly. And interestingly, she puts it on the far left side. Not sure if that's just for safety from the Reaper, or if it's because she's going to take the 4th base down here. Some players do like to just expand on the top side and purely focus on breaking these rocks and controlling this whole ledge area. But I prefer splitting to both sides of the map personally myself. Now, this has been a quick double gas. Okay, so Clem is going straight for Banshees, guys. Not going to go for the quick 3rd command center. Interesting. Ooh-wee. Reapers bouncing around, seeing exactly what they can do. Queens are building up. Extra queen in the main base as well. We should see another queen starting on the natural in a moment. There we go. Both of those starting before 3 minutes 30. It shows you just how tight Scarlett's build order is. And that she's already got her 2 mineral lines saturated. 16 workers there. Just about to hit 16 here. Third base finished. And she's going up to 6 queens. And that's going to be out. 6 queens popping just after the 4-minute mark is super sick. Oh, this is kind of dangerous though. Queen does come forward to intercept. She gets rid of the Reaper, but 2 queens still very damaging. Okay, that queen's on time though, so Scarlett, oh, she does a spore trick to save 1 drone. The other drone does go down. And she's going to lose a little bit of mining time, but with Ling Speed here to hunt down these Hellions, that's going to hunt it down, finish it off. Wait, he's not done. He's not done. Oh, this is always the danger with Clem. It's not necessarily the first wave. It's often the second one. Okay, she's only taken 2 drones. I think she's okay, but oh, he does get 1 more volley off there. 3 drones in total. This is still very well handled by Scarlett, but 2 Hellions. He's not going to go in again. That would be crazy. That would be crazy. Okay, that's, yeah, no, that's insane. Dude, get out of there, bro. Okay, that's dangerous. Does get a creep tumor, so not bad. She'll have to immediately replace that. Do a poo, do a poo, do a poo. Mrs. Queen, do another poo. Place it. There we go. Okay, Hellions are still rallying to the right side. So far, hasn't really slowed her down very much. 47 drones are out. Third base full of minerals, guys. It's a classic rule of 1 gas. She's going to go lair. Second gas into the Baneling Nest. Hellions are up on that right side. Look at her Overlord positioning. She's got this great ring of vision. She is missing an Overlord in the north. She's got a Spore Crawler up there. I'd like that Spore to be just 1 space further to the right. She's going to have to very quickly pull these drones. Queen is well positioned, but got to pull those drones away. Hellions rotating to the left side. Might find himself a fresh tumor, but the Overlords are aware of it, so she doesn't spread that. And, oh, pull these drones back. Scarlett. A little undersaturated here on this natural as well. The Banshee does get 3 workers. This is slowing her down a fair little bit. And look at that. Finds another angle. Doesn't actually get any kills just yet, but there. Oh, there we go. She's got to pull those drones back. Another couple workers stacking on up. Second Banshee can join with this one. Definitely should turn Cloak off for now, though. And finds himself a creep tumor. Clem constantly in the face of the Zerg. Not watching for a moment. Did have to go home to macro. At some point, he has to look away from his units. Can you believe it? Even Clem has to look at home to place barracks every now and then. Third command center is floating out for him. Even without morphing an orbital, Clem, a big fan of doing that. I think it's because he is already so high on SCVs. A couple drones rally up here to fix up the saturation. They ended up only rallying to their death. Up to 10 worker kills now. Bit of a misclick there for Clem. Does throw a Banshee away. Finally, the pressure has eased. Scarlett, she's got a 4th base down here just before the 6-minute mark. Double Evo chamber is not particularly fast. I feel like it's relatively even though, because even though the timings of everything, like where Scarlett's at in this game, doesn't look great for a more standard situation, as she attacks her Evo chamber for a moment, bit of a mistake there. I do think, and he is stacking up more worker kills than he probably should. I think you're allowed to be a bit behind, because when the 3rd command center is this delayed for the Terran, the barracks are this delayed. He's not going to get his medevacs across until about the 7-minute mark, right? And so this slows down his advance and his ability to do damage. I think it's acceptable for the Zerg to be a little bit further behind. Now, she's going 6 gas. I don't know why she's taking the 6th gas geyser. You only need 5 gas for the Lingbane Hydra style. I think it's more important to drone the minerals on this base. Here comes the Widowmine play, and he is going back to Widowmines. I was talking about at the start of this series how I would like to see less tanks, more Widowmines. I say the start of this series. I guess it was technically game 2, but it feels like an eon ago. And I want to see more of that Widowmine rally, because this is so hard to deal with mechanically. The Widowmine bio rally, and look, he's going to send another drop to the top now as well. Is he though? Is he though? He's going to wait for a few more Marines to come out, but pumping out Widowmines from that factory is huge. Second factory will build a tech lab and add drilling claws here, and he's just going to try and create these situations where he's constantly baiting Scarlett into those big old Widowmines. It's a more fluid, mobile style, and I think it really allows Clem to leverage his main strength as a player, which is the fact that he is an absolute freak when it comes to his micro. His APM, his ability to multitask and do many things at once to pull his opponent's attention around and just out micro them in the engagements. I think this style of Widowmine Marine constant multi-drop allows him to exert his skill, and as a big Scarlett fanboy, I really feel like she's going to struggle here. Oh. Speaking of struggling, Clem the one who struggled there to get that pickup off. These Widowmines not quite burrowed in time. I kind of wish Scarlett had just focused them down. She's going to let her Overseers both take 1 hit for the team. Transfuse would be good there. Clem focusing down the Overseers. She should have transfused those Overseers. Overseers are a very valuable unit, guys. 150 minerals, 50 gas. They're actually worth more than a Hydralisk, so well worth transfusing those, and losing both of those overseers is a bit unfortunate for Scarlett. Right now, her queen in the bottom is getting overwhelmed. Marines in the north side are being annoying, but she's up to 81 drones, so definitely that in that regard, she's feeling good. She's got grooved spines to go with her grooved brain. She's no smooth brain. Scarlett is a very intelligent player, guys. No baboons here. You know, you can be GM and still be an utter baboon, but when you come to a player who's won an IEM before, player who's been a North American champion many times, you do need to go beyond the baboon and add a few ridges on that brain. Well, the Hydras are attacking far, as are the Queens. The Infestation Pit is there as well. Marines, Widow Mines parading through the middle. 4th base going across. Drilling Claws coming in on this factory. He's left his Hellbats to block run-bys this whole time, and those run-bys have never eventuated. Scarlett is a little down on the supply. She's got to gather her forces here. She's got a lot of Lingbane Hydra. She's got to group up before she goes for it. The Banelings do come in with a cute little angle, but uh-oh, watch out for these Widow Mines. Good spready. Great spready, in fact. She's only got Queens on the bottom, though, and that's what I worry about. She's pulled everything together to defend this army. It could be the counter swing in the bottom and the drop in the main that actually does the damage. Clem is not striking in there, though. Missing an opportunity is Clem, I think. And here we go. He's going to push in on this bottom side. He's been 2-to-1 cost efficiency. This is what I'm talking about. This is the difference between Clem playing Widow Mines and Clem playing tanks, guys. He just overwhelms people and is somehow so much more efficient. Look at this. Drop dives into the main. That push does get shut down in the bottom. But her Lurkaden gets cancelled. She does cancel it, which means she gets a refund on the money. And, okay, this is actually really dicey right now. Where are her units? This drop is getting way too efficient up in the main. She needs to keep her injects up and keep her mass ling production going. But because she's just lost a whole lot of queens, she's only got 4 queens left. So is she spreading creep or is she injecting? She can't do both at once. She's trying to expand across the map, but the rush distance is just too short. This is such a good map for Terran because the army just arrives at your base so darn quickly. You want space and time to react as a Zerg, and Clem is just not giving that to Scarlett. This base under assault right now, and you can see she's trying to come forward to defend, but she doesn't quite have the numbers. The Widow Mine spread so dangerous. The Lings and the Banes come forward, but the Marines evade the Banelings. They do not take a crucial hit. Banelings are finally finding their way through, but once again, most of the Marines pull back. And let's check that unit's loss tab. Yeah, it's maintaining pretty close to 2-to-1 efficiency. This is actually disgusting, and this is what I'm used to seeing. Look at that. 2 Hydras and a pack of Banelings. That's just not an efficient army. You could drop a Marauder into that. All the Banelings will blow up on it. You need more Lings and Hydras. She needs all the pieces, but she's at this point where she's severely undermanned. She is getting Lurkers out, though. So actually, I mean, she's surviving way better than I thought she was about to crumble and get overwhelmed, but ow! Widow Mine does take out a bunch of guys, but this is what I'm talking about. You can just drop on top, take out all those Banelings without the Lings and the Hydras. It's so dangerous, and the Widow Mine's not getting the biggest hits. The Lurkers, the Lings, the Banes running on forward. The Banes, though, mostly waste their lives. Hydras need to make sure they don't go too far forward on the south side. 6th base will get eliminated, I believe. Oh, Lings and Hydras do come out. Scarlett might be able to defend that. She's trying to bait Clem into the Lurkers, letting those big boys do their work. She's going to go forward on the south side. Definitely would be nice to keep this base up for a little bit. And she does take out that Widow Mine. Drilling Claws did actually finish. But despite that, managed to kill that one before it could fire. Seismic Spines is almost finished right now. She does not have Adaptive Talons just yet, though. And under the pressure, I don't know if she'll get it. Her Lurkers on Burrow at the worst moment. He shoves forward like an absolute Chad gamer. Clem just man-moding it through the Lurkers. The Hydra's unable to hang on. And, oh, man, the army just cascading over the top. We've got Marine Marauder dropping in behind the 3rd. We've got this drop that was hiding in the back of the main is going to come back in as well. Scarlett cannot get her forces together. That drop, it looks like it's leaving, actually. It's leaving. I don't know where it's going. Did it get F2'd to the bottom? I think it did. I think it got F2'd to the bottom to join up with this push. Snipes on Queens going down. He's too much for Scarlett to handle. And honestly, guys, Clem playing this style is too much for almost every player to handle. It's why I question why he opened up with that tank style, that Maru style, that style that Big Gabe and everyone else is doing throughout the other stage of the tournament. Yes, Lurkers are good. Yes, Banelings are good. But you know what else is so scary for Zerg players trying to survive? This cascade of bio mine. And look at how fluid this ghost transition is behind it as well. He's already up into like quad ghost production. He's got a 5th base establishing just down below this as well. The planetary has morphed. And look at the units lost tab. It's still very close to that 2-to-1 units lost that it's been from the very start. The endless pushing power, the Widow Mines, bio, the ghosts, It's just so damn beautiful, and it fits Clem's style. I want to see Clem continue this style for the rest of this tournament, because this is the style that he just looks unstoppable with. Scarlett's hanging on for dear life right now. She's still got 88 workers, so she's going to try and just drag her ass back into this game, but for those who've ever had a pet cat that decided to wipe its ass on the carpet after doing its business, I kind of feel like it's like that. It's a weird, ungainly movement as its front paws do drag its ass along the ground. And I love the effort because, of course, you were so close to winning earlier on. You want to fight back. You don't want to give up. It's just so hard to get much done. It's not a great situation to fight from. The Banelings do roll into the center of those ghosts and do exactly what they can. And the lurkers, though, but you see, without the support, the ghosts will be able to snipe them down. And snipes, oh, the natural predator of the lurker, just closing in so decisively. Even without any snipes left, he's like, I can just right-click this lurker. These ghosts, each with their own personal medevac, are way too powerful. Scarlett trying her hardest to fight back in this game, but Berlingrad, you know, it's just too small a map. I think if this game was like this on Hardwire, I do think she might have been able to do it, but there just isn't enough room to respond. He just appears at your side of the map, he's in your face, and it doesn't feel like it's anything even close to being fair. Blinding Cloud, Parasitic Bomb combo goes down. Lingbane Hydra rolling in. Never give up. Never surrender. But as she has literally nothing left on the board, Scarlett finally taps out, and what an epic best of 3. I love the Proxy Hatch Cheese to start. I love the way she played out game 2. I do think she could have swapped into the Broodlord Infestor earlier, though, and maybe taken him out. Or maybe even if she just kept up the Lingbane Hydra momentum, you know, and didn't re-drone so much, let her drones naturally sift down to 80, resaturate the minerals, and take off the gas in that game too, she might have been able to bowl him over. But Clem, he's really started to develop that Maru-style comeback nature, and he's done it here. He gets the 2-1 victory over Scarlett, a fantastic series.